Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, a new week, June 17th, 2024. Welcome to another entry in my daily vlog. I have this experiment running where I'm trying to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. Been at it for about a year and a half or so, and then every day I stand up and talk about what I've been doing, what I'm doing next, and how it's going. Trying to make that happen. A lot of little things to talk about today, so let's start by rewinding to Friday, which was a semi-productive day, a day that I would have preferred to get more done, but it was a Friday. I wasn't feeling it, but we'll talk about it. So, first and foremost, the Friday Plays release. This started as an experiment and now is a series where each Friday I pick a single nostalgic game and kind of just do a playthrough of it and talk about it, do commentary of it. It has turned into a very reliable little series for us. So the new one last week was in a television title called Thunder Castle, was suggested by a viewer, and love this game. Continue to play it. Keep going back to it again and again. Over the weekend, it only netted about 3,600 views, and I say only because of our recent successes. That are sometimes double and not quite triple that, but certainly double that. You know, before 5,000, 6,000 or so. But I'm very happy with it still because it's a regular performer, even if it's a low-end performer. I'll talk a little bit more about the Friday Plays and the current state of them at the end of this vlog today. I also cut a new Celebrating Yesteryear that got that delivered, and that's being edited this week for release next Saturday. I actually caught up to the scripts. I was 3 or 4 behind for a while, but I caught up to them entirely until now. There's a new one which I'll work on today. Did some planning for this week. Look, we had I have a lot of little irons in the fire that are stacking up, and I have most of those aligned now. A little bit of graphic work, a little bit of correspondence with folks. Planned for a couple of meetings today, which we'll talk about momentarily. But and then, by the way, I will tell you that I finally got back to the theater to see the newest Planet of the Apes before it left the theaters on Friday evening, because we talked about it a few weeks ago that I walked out because of someone and their kids, running around making noises in this theater right next to me, and I just couldn't focus. And by the way, yeah, I did miss stuff. It turns out, watching it normally, I did miss stuff. Watching that first 30 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I went back. It was a good film. Not the best film probably in the series, but I enjoyed it a great deal. Let's talk about stats then before we get to today. Oh, the weekend, by the way. I hope you had a good weekend. I did. Went to a huge antique mall about an hour and a half away, got a few pickups, some nice stuff, went to a game store, nice casual weekend like I like to have. My wife and I will drive somewhere and try to, go thrifting or something. So stats. I would like to be on my little chart here right in the middle, which is 50 subscribers and 10,000 views average over the last 7 days. A soft Saturday, a stronger Sunday, actually. So our stats, views are up a little bit, almost 9,000 average per day, just like 8,900, just below that. Subscribers down a little, just over 23 subscribers average over the last 7 days. We'll see if we get an improvement throughout the week as we go. A new milestone, though, just a late Friday, early Saturday or so, we hit, we're now at 50,100 and a quarter. So that 50,000 is now well in the rearview mirror, and we're building on the next 1,000. So the first bit is on the tally board. So let me talk about today. I mentioned that I would like to cut the next Celebrating Yesteryear and get that done. Again, catch me up with the scripts. I get today or tomorrow. I'll plan to get that done, one or the other. I have an editorial that I'm planning for, so I would like to do some writing for that. I worked on a thumbnail for it the other day. Just, it's often that's the place I start, which I told you, but it's been noodling around in my head a lot. I posted a community post about it on Twitter, and yeah, I think it's something I want to do maybe today. We'll see how today goes and how things stack up. I also have a new vintage electronic toy that I picked up last weekend that I want to do some prep for, some photography and start building a thumbnail and figure out the angle, do some testing, stuff like that. This might not all be today, by the way. This might be for the next couple of days. I have a couple of meetings coming up. I have one external with one of our partners, and then an evening meeting with the team. I also need to do, I have a couple of live streams coming up. If I can pick an open day that I've got this week, hopefully, I'll try to do one of those live streams and schedule it like a day or two in advance instead of just a few hours in advance. Pick one and line it up and do it. Also, I have tomorrow's podcast edit day, you may recall, so every Tuesday. So I have that show that I need to, get on the timeline and get ready and get prepped. So I will get that. Yeah, definitely get that ready because that's tomorrow morning. I got to get that done. Before we leave, I just want to talk a little bit about the Friday plays and how they have evolved. If you weren't here at the beginning of that, essentially it started with when I picked up a 1977 heavy Sixer Sears Telegames, and in that box was the drawing a blank. Air Sea Battle? Yeah, Air Sea Battle. Target Fun. It was called Target Fun from Sears. Anyway, someone mentioned in a comment, hey, it'd be fun to see if you can beat the computer versions of those games, which are really just holding down the fire button. So I did that just kind of as a lark for fun. It happened to be on a Friday, and it did incredibly well. So I'm like, oh, well, let's pick some other little game to do. I did 2 or 3 of them in a row, and suddenly it's like, oh, this is a thing, and it's become something people expect and anticipate and look forward to, including, not for nothing, me. It's something not only have I really enjoyed doing these kind of low planning, which is not entirely true. I read the manual and do some pre-play, but it's not like a big production. They're easy to do. It's relaxing to do and to play a little bit, but I'm discovering new games, especially as I opened up into the Intellivision library and other libraries we'll look at eventually. I've already found 2 new games that are on my favorites list, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know those were a thing until now. So it's been very productive. It's one of those things where not only is it an experiment that it has the potential to keep the channel and the content fresh, but also it's keeping my brain fresh because it's new stuff that I'm not retreading the same ground. Like, I might be new to someone else, but it might not be new to me if I'm talking about the same thing, that I've talked about 5 years ago all over again. These are totally fresh things in some cases. Even some Atari stuff that I've not seen before, that people suggest, and I'm like, Thunderground was one not too long ago I did that I'd never heard of until it was suggested, and now it's like, oh, that's pretty doggone cool. So it's one of those opportunities where I think it was incredibly valuable. The process where I listened to comments and I listened to input from people in this vlog, from comments over on videos that I do. I spend a large part of my day reading comments and responding to comments and taking notes about comments and looking for trends. And that was one that started out of, again, it was a little lark. And as I listened to feedback, I saw more and more positive feedback about liking that kind of thing. Just like we have done with the editorials we talked about, just like we've done with we've changed reviews and modified them slightly over time. Because look, you're trying to build an audience. There's one thing to drag an audience kicking and screaming to something you're doing. It's something entirely different, though, to listen to that audience and build the thing they're asking for and deliver that very thing. And as I get feedback, and I've continued to tune what it is that I do, and it's a good example of those Friday plays. So speaking of which, I've not picked the one for this Friday, so add that to my list of stuff to do today. All right, let me go ahead and get after it today. I want to thank you, of course, for popping in to check out today's vlog. If you did, if you're here every day, I love you for that. Thank you so much for sticking in there with me. I'm here. If you're there, that's great. Oh, it's a Monday. Yeah, have a good Monday as best you can. I know it's a Monday. Remember to do something good for yourself, though. That'll take the edge off of it. And I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.